If you care about your health and your overall athletic performance, you're going to really enjoy today's episode of the Pro Talk podcast. But before we meet today's guest, do me a favor, please push that subscription button as well as the notification bell. And also in the comments, you can tell me who you'd like to talk to next time. Oh, did I mention you're going to find out should you buy one of these? Something I use every single day of my life. Well, today's guest, she's a member of the National Academy of Sports Medicine. She's certified in personal training and health coaching. I want to welcome to the Pro Talk podcast, Lisa Tucker. Lisa, how are you?
Doing good. How about you?
We're great up here in the ATL. You're down there in Florida, nice and cool, right?
Nice and hot. Hot one today. The
Yeah.
hottest so far. So far. Yeah.
Well, we're at the halfway point of the year, and I know some people have yearly goals to lose weight. It seems like that's what everybody's goal is at the beginning of the year. As a personal trainer, what do you see the main thing people get wrong about trying to lose weight?
That they're going to do it in 6 weeks is one thing. I think marketing really messes with people's minds, and they think that 6 weeks to this, 6 weeks to that. It's not ever 6 weeks. I think that's one of the biggest things that people get wrong. It's a journey,
Yeah.
and the more weight you have to lose, the more of a journey it's going to be, and it's going to be work and effort and lifestyle change, and you've got to commit to making changes. There's not a quick fix.
No. Yeah,
We're
it always
we're
cracked
looking
me.
for quick fixes. We're looking for a cure in a package, and you
Yeah.
see that with all the GLP-1 drugs, and you lose weight. You lose weight on. Everybody's looking for the fancy, exciting, new thing to get on, and the most effective things are the most boring, not exciting things. So
Okay.
it's just staying consistent and doing the obvious common sense thing, and just keep doing it for a long time.
Right. Yeah. It always cracked me up to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And I wondered, could somebody just eat crap and gain 30 pounds in 30 days? I mean, I don't know if you could gain that much.
You can gain the weight a lot quicker than you can take it off.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, that's how our species has survived over thousands and thousands of years, is that we're
Mhm.
able to take in calories and we're able to hold on to calories. Because if we could lose weight as fast as you could gain it, we would have died out a long time ago.
Mm.
That's how our bodies work. That's how they're supposed to work. And the
Yeah.
more weight that comes off, the more it slows down. And that's
Yeah.
normal. People think that's not normal. They're like, why doesn't it come off? Because that's what your body's made to do. That's how it's made to survive famine and shortages and all the things, and we just don't live in that world anymore. And
Mhm.
so we don't need, we want it to come off fast. It just doesn't come off fast.
Yeah.
So that's normal. That's what your body's supposed to do.
It struck me last night. I was watching a baseball game, and they had the advertisement stuff behind home plate, and it said, "Why wait?" And then it had some pharmaceutical thing, started with the Z, and then over here behind the home plate, it said, "Ask your doctor." And I looked it up. It's again one of those, what do you call it, GLPs, those quick
GLP-1
injection thing.
drug.
Yeah. What are the main side effects of some of these quick fix things that you see out there?
I mean, GLP-1 drugs, I mean, people, I know people taking them that don't need to be on them. They're already skinny.
Yeah.
Pancreatitis, I know people have gotten pancreatitis. A lot of times you can't eat. It slows down your digestion. It slows down the food going through your digestive system, and people can have intestinal blockages. They can have pancreatitis. We don't know. I mean, I don't know yet, like long term. Anytime a new drug comes out, 10, 15 years down the road, they could say, oh, oops, by the way, if you were
Yeah.
on this drug, you might want to get involved in this class action lawsuit.
Sure.
People are, sometimes they're not getting in enough, especially you have people that are taking it that don't really need it.
Mhm.
I heard one lady say I think it was a doctor that took it just experimentally for herself. She took a shot and she said, I couldn't eat for 3 days.
Holy cow.
So sometimes you get, there's a risk of not getting in enough.
Mhm.
Some people do really well on them. Some people need them because, with any drug, you have risk and you have benefit, and you have to weigh, what the risk is for you versus what the benefit is. If you're morbidly
Hmm.
obese and you cannot get that weight off and you're going to die if you don't get the weight off, then it might be better for you to do a GLP-1 than,
Hmm.
and take whatever risks there might be in the future. If you're not overweight and you're just trying to be skinny, you're taking a risk for no reason.
Right.
So, and I do know people that are doing that. It's getting to be a lot of people are on it. A lot of
Hmm.
people that don't really need to be on it. They just want to be skinny. So,
Yeah. We know a professional tennis player or former professional tennis player saying, "I'm not on drugs. This is health care." And I thought, what did she just say? Sounds like it's a drug to me.
it is a drug. I mean, it's a peptide. I mean, and peptides are all the big thing right now. I mean, insulin's a peptide.
Hmm.
But insulin has helped lots of people with diabetes. So, for her, she did lose a lot of weight on it. And again, it's a benefit to risk ratio. What was the
Yeah.
risk for you before? What is the risk being on it? Generally, you have to stay on it. If you go off of it, the weight's going to come back unless you learned good lifestyle habits while
Yeah.
you were on it. How sustainable is taking those injections long term?
Yeah.
I don't
But
know.
again, like you
It's
said,
so
the
new. We won't
consistent
know.
factor.
We won't know till years down the road.
Yeah. You mentioned that the consistency factor, that if they're not changing what they eat and if they're not increasing their exercise, I guess they're just relying on the quick fix.
Yeah, if you're obviously you're taking the drug, it's causing you to eat less. That's that's
That's it.
that's what it is at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's causing you to eat less. You may not be changing what you're eating, you're just eating less, you're consuming less, and that's how you lose weight.
Hmm.
You're not really learning new lifestyle habits. You're just taking a drug that helps you not be hungry.
Hmm.
So at the end of the day, you're consuming less. If you're eating unhealthy food, you're just consuming less of your unhealthy food.
Yeah.
You're not really learning how to take care of your body.
Sure.
And you're losing, like they say, anytime you lose weight, if you're just losing weight, you're not exercising, there's always a percentage of that weight loss that's muscle mass.
Right.
So anytime you lose weight, you're not ever
Yeah.
just strictly losing body fat. So you're losing some of your muscle mass along with, do you want to lose weight or do you want to lose fat?
Right.
If you can lose muscle mass and still lose weight and, you've lost weight,
Yeah.
congratulations, you lost 25, it's like,
Hmm.
probably, I think the last number I heard was that, when you lose weight, probably 25% of your weight loss is muscle.
Wow.
And so unless you're doing something to make, and that, and that's, I mean, I knew that, like, working in bodybuilding gyms and knowing the bodybuilders, that's why they go through the bulking phase. They put on a lot of extra body fat so that they can build a lot of muscle so that when they're cutting, they have built up extra muscle because they know when they cut, they're going to lose a certain amount of that muscle. And then they
Got it.
try to preserve as much of the muscle as they can while the body fat's coming off. And
Right.
so, you're gonna lose a certain percentage of that muscle. If you were always losing weight and always cutting, at some point, you're gonna start looking wasted. You have to go
Okay.
back and build the muscle back and get in a calorie surplus so you can build the muscle back. So bodybuilders will bulk up, they'll get kinda chubby, and then they go through their cutting phase,
Sure.
try to preserve. Yeah, and because they know that they're gonna lose a certain amount of their muscle.
That's so
You can't always be cutting.
right. Yeah. That's so logical. I've never heard it described that way, but that makes total sense.
Mhm.
Now, I hear all this talk about women and cortisol and their levels are dropping. And what's the deal on that? Educate me there.
I don't even go there because there's always a hierarchy of things that we talk about when somebody comes in and they need to lose weight. Cortisol isn't at the top. The top is, what are you eating? And then, are you exercising? And then, are you sleeping well? Like, we got to get through the fundamentals before we get down to the,
Okay.
if you're eating 6,000 calories a day, we're not even to cortisol yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't blame cortisol when you're eating 6,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
So let's talk about diet first. And I promise you, 100% of the time, if somebody changes their diet and they start exercising, we never get to cortisol. I don't even talk
Okay.
about it. We don't even have to talk about it.
Yeah.
Get your diet straight, get your workout straight, get your sleep right. Your cortisol is going to be fine. So it's not even I don't ever even we never even get to that. But
Yeah.
if you're not doing the fundamentals, cortisol ain't gonna fix anything, fixing your
Okay.
cortisol. And a lot of times your cortisol is off because your fundamentals are off. You're getting it
Right.
backwards.
Okay. Yeah. So it's cause and effect. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of the questions I'm bringing you today are for some of the, I hear stuff on the tennis court, like, guys talk about this and women talk about other things. And I hear women complain about going through menopause and weight gain and hot flashes and all that
Mhm.
stuff. So is if someone came to you and says, I'm having trouble with menopause and weight gain, is that just one of those give it some time to work itself out or what?
No, it's like your body's going through a change. It's going through a normal change. Again, this is normal, but your body is supposed to do this. It does it for a reason. And you've got to help your body do what it's trying to do. So again, we're going to go back to listen, I went through the same thing. And when I went through it, I was like, I get why women rush to get a drug, a pill. Like, I want to get out of this. I want to sleep. I
Yeah.
want to, so you got to go back to how are you taking care of your body?
Okay.
You are going to get through it, but how are you taking care of your body? If you're eating bad, you're drinking a lot of alcohol, you're not sleeping good, you're not exercising, you've got to help your body get through it. So you can help your body get through it by changing some stuff, and your body's still going to go through that. But it can be a lot easier, or it can be a lot harder, or you can just go to the doctor and get some get some
Quick pills.
hormones, which is what people tend to do because that's the easy route.
Yeah.
That's the easy route. I mean, and you can do that. Most women I know are on hormones,
Yeah.
and if that's what you choose to do, it's like no judgment there. But I have had women that say, I'm dying because I can't sleep," and I'm like, "Okay, well, are you drinking?" I mean, they immediately like get defensive,
Oh,
like
wow.
they don't want to talk about that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, alcohol consumption and a poor diet will wreck you,
Okay.
especially when you're going through menopause and the older you get, it will wreck you. But people, it's just hard for people to change. They don't want to let
Mhm.
go. They don't want to let go of their stuff, And like I said, it's the not exciting things. It's the not exciting things that are really the answer to that.
Yeah.
And I feel for those women because I went through that, but I also I changed a lot of stuff too. Your body
Okay.
changes and you have to change with it. You can't live
Right.
like a 25-year-old out drinking and staying up late all night and eating
Yeah.
eating garbage and being wasted the next day and then get up and do it again, and then you expect your body to function.
Mhm.
And I see a
Yeah.
lot of people they're piling stuff on top of stuff. They're drinking antidepressants, weed, the gum. They're just piling stuff up, and it's just a mess to untangle.
Mhm. Yeah.
So it
So
all goes back to what you're putting in here.
right. Now, I know that you're a tennis player. Can you give the folks a little bit about your athletic background?
I started playing tennis when I was 32. So before that, I didn't have an athletic background.
Really?
No, I was in the band.
Okay, so was I. I was a drummer. Okay, what'd you play in the band?
I played the flute. I played the flute. I was in the marching band. We had marching band, symphonic band, and then when I was in symphonic band, I went to marching band. I played the flute my first year in marching band, and then I went to color guard because that was a cool thing to do. So then I went to color guard, and I had a flag and a rifle and
Yeah.
did all that fun
Okay.
stuff. But I was still in symphonic band and played. We toured, we traveled and went to competitions and all that good stuff.
Okay.
That was my high school thing. But I never played a sport. Mm-mm. And I started
Wow.
tennis when I was like 32.
Okay. Well, I've hit with you, and I've seen you. You're a good tennis player, and so I can tell you put in the discipline to get good at it.
Yeah, once I did it, tennis is addictive. So once I did it, I really did. I took a lot of lessons. I practiced a lot every day. Every day, I'm like, I got to get good at this. So, and I still play, 4 or 5 days a week.
That's great. So neither of us are in our 20s anymore where we could just no major warm up, no recovery, and now this thing, inflammation, occurs. Can you describe what is that burning when people say, it could be your knee, your elbow, your shoulder, it's inflammation. What is the burning?
Burning? Well,
Yeah. Or
yeah,
the aches, I guess.
what do you mean? Like when you feel like a
Well, okay, so someone's knee hurts. They just got off the hard courts and they've been playing tennis and they're 52 years old or whatever and their knees ache. And they go to their doctor. They think they've got, you know, cartilage problems or a meniscus issue and the doctor's like, "No, you just have arthritis and inflammation in your knees."
Yeah, arthritis is just like, osteoarthritis is where your cartilage just wearing thin. Your cartilage is wearing thin and then you have rheumatoid arthritis. I know people that have rheumatoid arthritis and that's where your immune system is attacking your joints. That is real inflammation when your immune
Mhm.
system is attacking your joints and wearing down your cartilage and that's all over your body. That's not
Mm,
just in one joint.
gotcha.
Osteoarthritis is just wear and tear of the cartilage, and when you don't have that cushioning, your inflammatory system is going in there trying to take care of something, and it's
Mhm.
trying to heal, and so you get swelling and fluid retention and all that. So people feel like it's hurting. Yeah, you got bones rubbing against each other with no cushioning in between.
Yeah.
So
So let's say that my guys' team, they play their match and then they all go out and have burgers and fries and a couple of beers. Are there certain foods that aggravate or elevate the inflammation in the body?
well, like a poor diet a lot of people are walking around with kind of low level inflammation going on all in their body. And, you know, in America, our food culture kind of promotes that. You hear a lot about seed oils and seed oils are bad. And it's kind of, they kind of oversimplify things. But one of the reasons that we have, inflammatory issues in our body, and it's not just joints. They're finding out that inflammation has a lot to do with cancers and heart disease and other things that, this low level inflammation that's constantly going on in your body has fatty acids, like your body needs certain fatty acids and they're essential fatty acids, meaning you have to get them from your diet. Your body cannot manufacture them. Omega-6 fatty acids are essential fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential fatty acids. You have to get them in your diet. Omega-6 fatty acids upregulate your inflammatory system. You need inflammation to heal things. When you get a cut, it swells, your body is doing its healing work. That's what it's supposed to do. So you need that
Mhm.
upregulation. Well, then you need something, then your inflammatory system needs to be brought back to baseline once it's done its job. Omega-3 fatty acids bring your inflammatory system back down when it's not needed. In our culture, in our food supply, we have a lot of omega-6 fatty acids. So all the oils that you see on the shelf, cooking oils, all the oils that they put into salad dressings and, crackers and all the processed foods, which is mostly soybean oil in our country.
Hmm.
That's omega-6 fatty acids. So you have all these omega-6s flooding our system, and we have very little sources of omega-3s in our diet. Unless you're eating fatty fish like salmon, you're eating a lot of flaxseed and pumpkin seeds, you're eating sardines, fatty fish, you're not getting a whole lot of omega-3s. So your
Yeah.
inflammatory system is always upregulated. So you go and you eat the burgers and the fries, and those fries were cooked in an oil that's been brought to high heat. The fatty acids are kind of damaged, especially when you go to a restaurant. It's been reheated and reheated and reheated, even maybe to a smoking point. Those oils are very bad for you. The fatty acids have been damaged and you're getting a lot of omega-6s and then you're eating the meat. And, you know, that if that's how you do every day, you're never getting an omega-3 in there,
Hmm.
you're gonna have systemic inflammation going on all the time. Your body can't downregulate it
Right.
because you're not giving omega-6 is an essential fatty acid. You have to have it for good health, and your body can't manufacture it. So you're gonna be having symptoms if you're not getting omega-3s.
So you recommend supplementing then too,
If
if
you're
you're
not
not getting
gonna
it.
if you're not gonna eat the right thing, to get omega-3s, then yeah, you need to be on a really good high quality fish oil
Yeah.
supplement. Kevin takes it.
Okay. That's good.
Mhm.
All right. So you could probably talk for days about the side effects or the effects of sodas and alcohol on the body.
Mhm. Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in sodas. You know, you have high fructose corn syrup in sodas, most sodas, and then they're just like a chemical soup.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like you've got
48 grams of sugar.
yeah, and it's high fructose corn syrup. So your liver is sitting there. Fructose has to go through your liver uh, to be converted. It's not a sugar that can just be broken down and absorbed into your bloodstream like other sugars. It goes through your liver. And most people are already, you know, they're full of sugar.
Hmm.
And so your liver can store some sugars. It can convert the sugar and store it. But once it's reached its storage capacity, it turns those sugars into fats and triglycerides and it's stored in your liver. And that's how you get non-alcoholic fatty liver disease is consuming all this high fructose corn syrup. And then, you know, it converts them into fats, and then you get high triglycerides, and it can increase your LDL, and the real dangerous small particle LDL comes from that sugar metabolism going on in your liver. So
Hmm.
that's really bad for you. High fructose corn syrup is really bad for you. I mean, extra sugar is bad for you, but extra fructose is really bad for you
Right.
because of that. It really damages your liver. And then you've got, you know, phosphoric acid and benzoic acid and caramel color. You've got all these chemicals that are real controversial.
Right.
And when you're just consuming that all the time and you're just flooding your system with that all the time, it's so bad for you. It's so bad for you.
Yeah. And I would guess addictive.
Sugar is addictive.
Yeah.
People who consume a lot of sugar, when they go off of it, they go through withdrawals, just like alcohol withdrawals. So they get headaches, nausea, they have to go through a few days of withdrawal symptoms if your body is that conditioned to getting that much sugar. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very addictive. And a lot of
Yeah.
people have a hard time with it. They start going through the withdrawal and, you know, they get relief from getting some sugar, you know, so it's hard to get through that. Kevin went off sugar one time. He did it. He went through all that withdrawal. I'm like, "You see?
And it worked.
Yeah, you gotta quit doing that." So, yeah, it's bad. It's bad. I wouldn't drink soda at all.
Yeah.
It's real bad.
I bet, and you see it's so easy and so cheap for kids to go into QT or, get the big
And it
gulps and all.
destroys your teeth.
Okay.
I mean, the acids in there soda is like, the pH is somewhere around 2.5. Battery acid is 0. So you're getting down there close. I mean, it doesn't take long for one soda to start softening your tooth enamel. It just destroys your teeth. I mean,
Sure.
you shouldn't let your kids drink soda. It destroy or adults either, but it
Right.
destroys your teeth. It really does. Have you ever seen, like, what do they call it? Mountain Dew mouth or from drinking Mountain Dew. Like, these kids, like,
Yeah.
have drank so much, soda, their teeth are just rotting out of their head. I
Right.
mean, the acidity just eats through your tooth enamel.
Wow.
It's bad for you.
Wow. That's interesting. All right. Do you know, I mean, let's get to exercise because I know people are like, now we're downhill and, I've had this and that. I don't want to shame anybody for
No,
drinking their sodas, but I appreciate you bringing out the good information. Before exercise, what type of food should your basic athlete consume?
a basic athlete, like
Your
our
weekend
age?
player that, yeah, all right. somebody wants to go out and play 2 sets of singles tennis and,
Yeah.
uh, so
I I mean, I don't it's not a diet, it's basically eating plan, but I really do I mean, the closest I can tell you is, like, to do the Mediterranean diet, which really is just a heavy focus on fruits and vegetables, fish, chicken, whole grains, nuts, seeds. It's whole food. It's not and I don't believe in crazy diets where you cut out entire macronutrients, and, you know, Mediterranean style eating is very sustainable. It's not crazy. It's not no carb, no this, no that. It's just eating whole foods. Starts with fruits and vegetables, chicken, fish, whole grain, and it's just whole foods. And it is an avoidance of ultra processed foods, but you can still eat a wide array of foods, to me that is the healthiest way to eat. I'm not really a proponent of keto, no carb, carnivore, all that stuff because
yeah,
they're highly restrictive.
right.
But if you were to cut out all the processed foods you get in the middle of the store and you go to the produce section, do that. Eat oats and, whole oats and brown rice and, avoid white refined carbohydrates, sugar, alcohol. Alcohol is bad for you. And I know a lot of people enjoy a beer. If you enjoy a glass of wine or beer, I'm not, but most people are over consuming, you know
Mm,
you know, to be honest. So, if you can cut down on alcohol, that's a big thing. Having a glass of wine is fine, having a beer is fine, but, 3 or 4 or 5 a day is gonna be a problem for your health in the long run, especially as you age.
sure.
The average athlete, you need to eat your fruits and vegetables. I know, and that's what the most effective things are the most boring things.
Mhm.
So a lot of people are just subsisting on like processed cereals, bars. They have their Diet Coke, they'll have a sandwich, tacos, burgers, pizza, stuff like that.
Yeah,
And people don't cook at home anymore. They go to restaurants and eat the restaurant food. And like I
and you
said,
don't know.
it's the burger and the fries that's been cooked in the stuff that's been sitting
Yeah,
there and reused. Yeah, it's not good.
right. What about hydration this time of year? It's like, with the summer heat, and the talk about you gotta have your electrolytes. I
Mhm.
wanna ask you about a couple brands. How about Element, LMNT?
Is that's like the 1,000 milligram,
Yeah, it's the sodium, they've got a bunch of different flavors.
the little
You pour it.
packets?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How much water do they tell you to put that in?
I think 16 ounces minimum
And it's
for
like
one of those.
1,000 milligrams of sodium
Yeah,
or 16
yeah,
ounces. You gotta separate who you're talking about. Are you talking about the general population? Are you talking
okay,
about an elite athlete?
okay,
Or are you talking about, today I've gotta go out in 95-degree weather for 3 hours, or am I gonna sit at my desk at work?
yeah,
The general population probably should not be consuming that much sodium.
okay,
If you're an elite athlete, you're an endurance athlete, and you're a heavy sweater and you're a high sodium sweater, you there may be cause for having a drink like that. But just the average person, mm-mm,
mhm,
no. And you know, different people are different. Different people have different sweat rates. Different people sweat out more sodium than others.
yeah,
They're heavy sodium sweaters. If you're a construction worker, you're a roofer, you're out there all day and you're wasting a lot of sodium, you might have a reason to take something like that, but at least 75% of the population probably does not need something like that.
okay,
And probably shouldn't be. It's probably not good for most people. I mean, statistically, I think 50% of our population has high blood pressure. And if you exceeding, what the recommendations are for sodium for no reason probably isn't a smart thing to do.
yeah,
But if you're
that's
if you're out there and you feel like you're wasting sodium and you need it and you have cause to do it, like I said, then go for it.
yeah.
But
So
most people know. I wouldn't do that. I
yeah,
wouldn't consume sodium like that.
well, let's get to
Well, and
Okay,
I don't
well,
like their marketing. I don't like the marketing that, everybody needs to be consuming 4 to 6,000 milligrams of sodium a day.
mhm,
That's just not
yeah,
true.
sure.
That's just not
Well,
true.
let me go to the next question about it because not just element, but the athlete now you see Gatorade, less sugar, less this, less that, but it's still that brand that doesn't say glucose. No, it doesn't say high fructose syrup, but it says glucose dash fructose syrup, which is high fructose corn syrup.
Well, Gatorade, okay. So if you're talking about hydration, there is science. I mean, you have these little glucose sodium co-transporters in your intestines, and there's an optimal amount of sodium to glucose, and we are talking about glucose, sodium to glucose that will activate those little co-transporters in your intestines, and it pulls water with it. So you'll have like electrolyte drinks, like Pedialyte, for instance. It is designed specifically to activate those little co-transporters in your small intestine. So it's quick rehydration for somebody who is dehydrated. And Pedialyte was designed for children who are throwing up, diarrhea, and they are dehydrated. It
Hmm.
does rehydrate you really fast. Have a glucose sodium ratio that is 1-to-1 molecule of sodium to glucose. The sodium molecule, the glucose molecule attaches to that co-transporter. It pulls water with it, and you get rehydration really fast. So, but that's a certain ratio of glucose to sodium. Well, Gatorade, you once you get around like 4 to 6% sugar, you're in the rehydration plus replenishing carbohydrate zone. So the water might not be pulling in quite as fast because the more sugar you add, the more that slows down the water going into your bloodstream. So fructose acts on a different co-transporter in your intestines than glucose does. But like I said, fructose is a slower pathway. It has to go through your liver, blah, blah, blah. So what Gatorade does is they add that amount of glucose to act on. That's immediate. Glucose goes right into your bloodstream. That is the basic sugar molecule that your body uses. So it doesn't have to be digested,
Hmm.
it goes right in. But once you saturate those glucose transporters, they're filled up. You can get some extra carbohydrate replenishment by putting in some fructose. It uses a different pathway. So, Gatorade is designed to replenish carbohydrates plus hydrate. So you get that sweet spot.
Hmm.
Once you start getting into, uh, you know, endurance athletes need a little more carbohydrate replenishment. So they'll have drinks that have more carbohydrate. You always want more glucose to fructose because once you start getting higher fructose, then you start risking GI upset.
Mm.
So, endurance athletes will add a little more, they'll get the glucose in, they'll add some more fructose, and it's a little more sugar. But you're trading off some quick water replenishment. The more sugar you add, it slows down the digestion. And then you start, maybe a little extra risk of GI upset. So that's where Gatorade and Powerade fall. They fall right in that. We're hydrating plus adding a little fructose. Fructose, again, you don't want to be drinking that stuff unless you're an athlete and you're using it and you need it. Like I said, you can deplete your glycogen stores in your liver, and then your liver does replenish those glycogen stores using the fructose. But if the
Hmm.
glycogen stores are full and your liver doesn't have anywhere to put it, it's going to convert it to fats. Like I said, then you start getting into it's storing fats in your liver, it's raising
Mm.
triglycerides and this, that, and the other. The average
Yeah.
person does not need to be drinking that.
Right.
So yeah, Gatorade, that's what it's doing. It's
I
using the
gotcha.
fructose and it's using the glucose. I don't think it uses a high fructose corn syrup. I think it's dextrose. which dextrose is molecularly equal to glucose. It does act on those glucose sodium cotransporters.
Hmm.
So I think that's what Gatorade is doing. But then once you start, when we're talking about exercising, we're talking about sweating, exercising. Once you start getting into the high sugar range, like a soda or undiluted fruit juice, and you're drinking that, you're
Yeah.
risking. Now you've got this concentrated sugar in your small intestine. Your body's got to pull water in from your tissues. You get this osmotic drag. Now you're not getting hydrated as well, but now you're risking stomach cramps and,
Yeah.
you know, GI upset. So
Yeah.
there's different ranges for different
Sure.
levels, but you don't want to go above like a 9% sugar.
Yeah.
Gatorade is in that 4 to 6%
Okay.
range.
I had a client back in, I remember, I think it was 93 or 94. A guy I was coaching, he worked for Coca-Cola at the time. And I said, "Hey, what is this sports drink you guys are coming out with?" And he smiled and he said, "Kids are going to love it." He said, "We're putting more sugar in there than Gatorade." And then when it came out, it was this neon, like the color of my sign back here, this blue stuff. I'm like, well, that's certainly healthy, that blue food coloring crap, whatever that is.
Mm-mm.
But it's like, that's what, suck the kids in.
Yeah, and that's what I don't like about I don't like the other stuff that they put in there
Yeah.
and the food dyes and stuff, but people aren't gonna buy it if it's not neon green or
Yeah.
whatever. But little kids, they don't need to be drinking that stuff.
Yeah.
Most people get massive amounts of sugar and sodium from their diet.
Hmm.
You know, if you're talking about an elite athlete, that's one thing. If you're talking about just an average person or just a person going out and playing a couple of hours of tennis, like you said,
Yeah.
that stuff is not it's not good. And I wouldn't let my kids drink it.
Right.
It's not you're getting the blue stuff, you're probably consuming too much sugar. Most people get plenty of carbohydrates and sodium from what they eat. And
Okay.
we're already eating massive amounts of sodium. We don't need to drink it. If
Yeah.
you're an elite athlete and you're really following and tracking and you're using those electrolytes and sugars and you're an endurance athlete, that's a whole different story. But
Yeah. Right.
75% of the population doesn't even get the minimum amount of exercise they're supposed to get,
Right.
much less needing Gatorade.
Yeah.
So no.
Okay, so our weekend athlete we're talking about, he's out there playing right now, and it could be somebody jogging and they get this stitch, which is a cramp in their side, or it starts. We saw it at the French Open. World class athletes are starting to cramp.
I know,
What does
man.
that mean when an athlete's cramping?
When an athlete's cramping, for a long time, the dominant explanation was, oh, you're sweating a lot, you're losing water, you're losing sodium, and so your muscles cramp. But now, we know that it's a little more complicated than that, and it's really fatigue. It's really just fatigue. Your muscles are excited, your muscle spindles are, like, sending out these excitatory signals, your Golgi tendon organs, they get worn out, so their inhibitory signals kinda slow down, and, your muscle crosses a threshold, and it just contracts and locks up, and it's really probably, because of just muscle fatigue, and that doesn't
Okay.
mean that electrolytes don't matter. They do. It just means that they're probably not the main driving thing that's doing it. So, a lot of people that are cramping up and you did see that with Sinner at the French Open. I think he did it at the Australian Open.
Australia too, yeah.
It's really fatigue and your muscles are going past what they're conditioned to do. And I think for him, and we always look at it on the outside. We don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, but
Mhm.
for him, it might be heat. like he may not be conditioned to heat. I don't know where he trains or what kind of environment
Right.
he trains in, but it
Yeah.
always seems to be when the temperature gets up
Right.
90 degrees, you know. But man, you got to figure that out because for an athlete like that, that's
Yeah.
money. That's money. That's your ranking. And so I'm sure, I mean, he got through Australian Open, but the French Open, man, and it was only because of cramping.
Yeah.
But they've tested athletes who are cramping, and a lot of cramping athletes do not have electrolyte imbalances. Their
Okay.
sodium's fine, their hydration's fine, their electrolytes are fine, and they're still cramping. So the main thought now is that it is muscle fatigue. Your muscles they've just gone over the edge, and
Interesting.
it's conditioning. And I'm not saying that an athlete that like that isn't conditioned. There may be an
Yeah.
aspect he's not conditioned, like the
Sure.
heat. It could be the
Yeah.
heat. And so I don't know, for him, I would say you need to address the heat. It probably isn't electrolytes. It's probably, I don't know, where's he train?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's interesting you brought that up because I'm thinking the difference of pushing off a hard court and now the fatigue of what's going on, the push and pull in the red clay. I don't know if that attributed
It
to it.
is
So
it is muscle fatigue.
yeah,
I mean, that's the dominant factor. Yes, you don't need to get depleted with your electrolytes, but most of the time, a lot of times they're finding out these guys aren't depleted. Their
hmm,
electrolytes are actually fine. And even people who are depleted don't cramp necessarily.
okay,
People are more prone to it. Some people are just not your muscles are being pushed past what they're conditioned to do.
yeah,
So, and in some circumstances where you have some of these marathon matches that are going on 5 hours, anybody could cramp
sure,
after that. So, but, that's the main school of thought right now that prevention, preventing that from happening next time has to do with conditioning, muscle
makes a lot of
conditioning.
sense. So our weekend warrior who's out there cramping now, and somebody says, "Here, drink this pickle juice."
Wh
Truth or fiction?
well,
Or
like,
hurry up and eat a banana.
what do you think the reasoning is behind pickle juice?
I maybe because it's the sodium. I don't know. I mean, I've never bought into that. It's like,
Why aren't the elite athletes drinking pickle juice?
what's that?
Why aren't the elite athletes? Why wasn't Center doing some pickle juice?
That's a great question. I don't know.
Well, I mean, it they've done studies and like it's kind of hard to study muscle cramps because there's so much variation between people with how long it's going to last, the duration, the intensity there's so much variation. They can get a muscle cramp going in the lab and they can give you some pickle juice, but you've got to prove that that muscle cramp wouldn't have stopped on its own anyway.
Hmm.
But one thing that you do know, like most muscle cramps resolve within a couple of minutes, 2 3 minutes, and that is not enough time for sodium to hit the bloodstream, get
Hmm.
into muscle and have an effect, so they know it's not sodium.
Right.
One theory that they do have is that it's kind of a reflex, like certain certain tastes, and they do have some products out that I don't think it's totally proven yet, but it's more like the vinegar and sometimes spicy, like cinnamon, capsaicin, can activate these sensory receptors in your mouth and your throat. And they're called TRP channels. And that they can like reflexively dampen overactive motor neurons, like temporarily. But
Hmm.
those little sensory receptors, they're in your mouth, they're in your throat, maybe in your upper digestive tract. That's not been proven. They really got to do more studies. It's just kind of a theory right now, but they know it's not sodium. They know for a fact it's not sodium.
Right.
But people who like, I don't see pickle juice a whole lot anymore. But at the height of the pickle juice craze, I played a girl one time. She was like, and this was just ladies league, and it was a young girl. She looked like she was in her early 20s. She was down in a whole, like, Yeti full of pickle juice before the match, like, she's pre-gaming, and she was just like, I gotta get this pickle juice down," like, I'm like, "I don't know." I was looking at my partner like, "I don't know what
Oh,
you thinks we're gonna be doing out here," but anyway, she
yeah,
drank that whole thing of pickle juice, and her stomach was so upset. She was so nauseous that
right.
she couldn't play. I mean,
Oh,
she and I've seen I've seen people at the tennis court, like during the pickle juice craze, at people at the tennis courts with a whole jar of pickles, like pickles and all, and they're just like
ugh,
drinking out of
chugging it.
drinking out of the pickle jar. Like, no, that's not going to help you. You
Yeah,
can't you can't drink pickle juice ahead of time and prevent cramps. It doesn't. That's not going to work.
right,
And I think it's risky to drink pickle juice. Even if the theory is right about the sensory receptors, it's a momentary thing. And if you drink enough pickle juice while you're exercising, you're gonna make yourself sick
right,
because it's very concentrated sodium,
right.
vinegar
Yeah,
going into your stomach. Ew,
right.
no. So you're creating this hypertonic solution in your stomach. And again, your body's got to draw water in and
Yeah,
dilute it, and but they know for a fact it's not the sodium because, muscle cramps resolve on their own anyway within a few
mhm,
minutes, and there's no way
yeah,
there's enough time for that to
yeah,
it's not a nutrient thing.
yeah. I've seen a lot of advertisements, and I don't do endurance stuff, but I saw a thing just last night, and it was like a recreational guy playing basketball says, "If your game is dragging, try this," and I wrote it down. It was a honey stinger. I'm like, I've never that's a new thing to me,
Oh,
but
honey, like
honey well, yeah, it's honey
honey
stinger,
stinger?
and it's I don't know what it is, but it's like these power gels and stuff. I mean, like quick burst stuff.
Mhm. Yeah,
That
I
like
mean, it's just sugar.
quick sugar?
You're just taking sugar. Endurance athletes will do that. They'll kinda like I said, they need the long-term carbohydrate replenishment, and they'll do kind of a combination of their drinks and stuff, like I said, like the 6 to 9% carbohydrate mixture, but they'll do a gel or a chew with
Mhm,
that too, if they feel like they need carbohydrate replenishment. Like I said, they have their balance of like how much carbohydrate can I get in before I'm like causing digestive upset or whatever. And
mhm,
everybody's different. But again, like it's just sugar, it's pure sugar. I mean, honey is sugar. And for the average person, why are you sucking on sugar? Like I've seen people do that too. Like you don't for that, I would never do that.
right,
You don't need to be taking in that much sugar. Like I said, you're doing
yeah,
all these kinds of things in your body. If you've already got enough carbohydrate going in there, you're raising your blood sugar, you're spiking your insulin if you're not needing it. Some people just
mhm.
do it. Who did you see do it? Was
It was a commercial, it's this basketball player, it's like a recreational Y league, and it's like it shows the guy all kinda bent over, and his buddy's like, "Hey, man, here's some try this, you'll feel better," and it's like it was called Honey Stinger,
Yeah,
and then the
yeah. No, I mean, that's marketing and of course,
right,
anytime you see something like that, they wanna market it to the masses, they're trying to
yep,
make money, but,
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
if you're bent over, it's probably not a sugar issue, and
you're out of shape.
just the guy yeah, you're probably out of shape, and
Yeah,
just the average guy out playing a little basketball, like,
yeah,
you don't need that, but
mhm,
I saw a guy coming out of he was our spin instructor, actually. He's a nice guy, but he had one. He's like, "Have you ever had these? They're awesome." He's like, "An
okay,
hour of exercise, you probably don't need that." And a
yeah,
lot of people do it because they just, makes them feel good. They want, whatever. But you probably don't need I've never done it. I don't do sugar. I
yeah,
wouldn't do a sugar drink. I wouldn't do a gel. I wouldn't do any of that because it's like, I don't, for what, I played for 2.5 hours today. It was really hot out there, and I never felt like I needed anything, and I don't think the average recreational player,
yeah.
they don't need
Again,
they
that
probably should.
marketing, right?
Yeah, they don't need it, and they probably shouldn't be, especially if you're like, again, like I said, most people have most people, the older they get, you're probably got high blood sugar anyway, and you shouldn't be spiking it like that
Hmm.
without a need for doing it.
So you said 2.5 hour. What if you're playing for 5 hours? So I'm just kidding. You're not a fan, I'm guessing, of the 5 hour energy things or the energy drink, the Red Bull stuff.
Oh, that's a lot of caffeine. I mean, why would you wanna do that much caffeine if you're to again, go back to, you're playing for 5 hours, you're taking a lot of diuretic there, you're gonna be peeing
Hmm.
out all your water, so I don't know why you wouldn't wanna do that either. I mean, that's a lot of caffeine. That goes against, wanting to be hydrated, but I don't know how much caffeine a 5-hour energy has in it,
No idea.
but
Never done them.
if you're drinking caffeine, your body's gonna start losing some water. You're probably s you'll well, especially in a shot, if you have caffeine that's diluted in this much water, you're
Hmm.
probably still gonna have some net water gain, but it's not gonna be as good as it could be.
Hmm.
And, it just depends on how much water you wanna be losing. Alcohol is real bad. You're gonna have net water loss. It will dehydrate you. It's a very powerful diuretic.
Hmm.
So, I see people, like, playing tournaments and stuff, and then they're drinking afterwards. I'm like, "Man, you're gonna feel bad tomorrow morning."
Tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Well, okay. So you go to a club or you go to a restaurant and they got Red Bull and vodka, and I thought, okay, let's take your system. I'm like, wow, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you're acting on two different things in your nervous system,
Hmm.
You've got a depressant and you got a stimulant at the same time. So, I mean,
Hmm.
that's not again, like, especially the older you get, you shouldn't be messing around. Red Bulls aren't the highest thing in caffeine, but they're probably kind of like a cup of coffee.
Okay.
I've seen
What's
worse.
worse,
I've seen a lot
Monster?
worse. I've seen a lot worse than Red Bull. I mean, there are energy drinks, pre-workouts that have upwards of 300 milligrams of caffeine in them, and then you'll have, like, if you look at the label, it'll have, like, 300 milligrams of caffeine, and then, like, our proprietary blend of herbal whatever, and there'll be guarana in there. Anytime they put, like, a proprietary blend of herbal extracts or
Hmm.
whatever, that's their way of getting around the FDA requiring them to say exactly how much
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
caffeine is in there. So if you've got 300 milligrams of caffeine and then you've got guarana, which is more caffeine, it's probably got more caffeine. I mean, it does have more caffeine than what the label's saying. So
Yeah.
it could, you got things like that going on in energy drinks. It could really be a lot of caffeine.
Yeah.
So
Not real good on the heart, I'm guessing.
No, and, there's people we have an energy drink in our gym that's like that. People will say, "Man, my whole left side is numb," or they'll
Right.
say
Wow. Scary.
it is scary,
Yeah.
there you can really have for real heart even you wonder, some of these kids that are dropping on the basketball court or whatever, and they're
Hmm.
having heart attacks and stuff, you wonder if they're not using some of these
Right.
pre-workouts. Some of them can have more caffeine than you realize, a
Right.
lot.
I've heard a couple people say, one guy said to another guy, "How's your elbow today?" And, "Oh, I took 2 Advil before I started playing. I'm feeling pretty good," or his knee's hurting. That always kind of concerns me. Should you take an Advil or a Tylenol or something like that before sports?
Before? I mean,
Yeah.
if you're trying to prevent pain, you'll see athletes do it on the court. I mean, if you're trying to prevent pain, I guess so, but I know people that'll do it every day, like prophylactically,
Right.
like take a Tylenol every day. That really puts a strain on your liver,
Sure.
when you're doing that every day. You shouldn't be doing it every day. The package says not to do it every day.
Yeah.
It really does put a strain on your liver to take stuff like that every
Hmm.
day long term. So if you're having to do that every day long term, I would figure out some other way of pain management.
Yeah. Yeah.
Figure out what's going on, figure out some other way of pain management because
Right.
that's not good. That's not a
Yeah.
good thing to be doing. I think it raises your risk of, like, liver damage.
Sure.
And you're talking about people who are doing that, and then they're doing the drinking, and they're doing the afterwards. It's just
Mm.
heavy duty, like you're tearing your liver up.
Yeah. Well, that's good advice, and that always concerned me, and I hear somebody say, "Well, I took a couple Advil, and I'll probably take 2 more when I'm done too." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oof."
like people are getting up there to their maximum doses a lot.
Right.
They know how
Yeah.
much the maximum dose is, and they're
Yeah.
really getting up there, and they're doing it every day.
Yeah.
That's right. I knew
Here
I
it
knew I had a friend that did that. She was doing it every day, and she went to the doctor and, did her normal blood work. Her liver function was really off.
Wow.
And they said, "Yeah, you gotta get off the Tylenol and Advil
Mhm.
for a while." She had to figure some other stuff out.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Now, I've heard this, I've never done it because I don't drink milk, but, they say chocolate milk is a good recovery. Is that true?
I mean, no, not really because I know what's in chocolate milk. I mean, the regular stuff you'll get in a carton in a grocery store, it's not it's like a lot of high fructose corn syrup and all kinds of additives and stuff in there. But
Sure.
if you got a good high quality, like an organic chocolate milk that has actual cocoa and sugar or whatever, it could be. Again, it's a lot of sugar. I think milk by itself is a good recovery. It's got protein, it's got a little sodium,
Mhm.
it's got a little bit, it's got enough sugar in it. Regular
Right.
milk has enough sugar.
Yeah.
And milk, I think regular milk could be a good recovery. I don't think it has to be chocolate milk. I don't think you have to have all but I mean, I've heard that too. I don't think you need that much sugar
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
recover. A regular milk would be okay.
Right. I don't know. I mean, it was just one of those, I mean, I've heard it several times, like, "Oh, I really don't think I agree with that." So,
I don't really agree with that either. I mean,
yeah.
a good chocolate milk is just gonna be milk, cocoa,
Right.
sugar. You don't need
Sure.
the cocoa and extra sugar. Milk's got
Right.
plenty of sugar in it
Right.
and protein and all it's a little sodium, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine, it is a good recovery. Regular milk is a good
Yeah.
recovery. But
So if so if I
I would say no to the chocolate milk.
Okay. Okay. So if I came to you, I just got done playing my match and say, "Lisa, my shoulder is sore. What should I do?" Are you a fan of icing after playing particular joints?
Back in the day, I mean, rice, rest ice,
Okay.
that was like, if it's just hurting, if you or do you it's like the question is, do you have an injury? Did you pull a muscle? Or are you just you just got your regular arthritis going or whatever, and
Okay.
you need to get inflammation out of the joint? That's okay. You can ice it, get inflammation out of the joint. If you have like arthritis, you're having a little flare, yeah, ice it and get the
Okay.
inflammation down out of the joint. But if it's an injury, if you pulled a muscle, probably not.
Okay.
If you pull a muscle, probably not. They're recommending against, like, if you have a muscle pull or a muscle strain. Nowadays they say don't go jumping and getting ice and anti-inflammatories right away because like we talked about earlier, your inflammatory system is doing its thing with an injury. Like if you really pull your muscle, your inflammatory system sends a cascade of growth factors and stuff to that injury. If you go icing it, you're holding off that healing, and
Okay.
they find that people have longer recovery times. I'm talking about strictly about muscle pulls
Mhm.
injuries. But your run of the mill, like, chronic arthritis pain, yeah, you probably need to ice it and get the inflammation out of the joint.
Okay.
But yeah,
So you
recommendations for
mentioned
muscle
muscle.
pulls are different.
Right. You mentioned muscle pulls. Just 10 days ago on a court next to me, 4 ladies were playing, and one lady, she was grabbing in between her hamstring and her glutes, and she said to her friend, "I think I pulled a high hamstring." And her friend said, "Well, you need to stretch that right away." What's your
I
advice?
don't know about that. Uh,
I agree.
you need to stop. If you did pull your muscle, you need to stop what you're doing. And I wouldn't do any aggressive stretching. Like if you pull a muscle, like in the acute phase, like in the first 72 hours, you just need to get off of it. You need to get off of it. Like I said, they're saying now don't jump to ice or anti-inflammatory medication like Advil. Don't use those.
Mhm.
Don't Don't try to hinder the inflammatory response. Do wrap it, compress it, and, any kind of injury that's below your heart, elevate.
Got it.
Aggressive stretching, no, you could end up doing more damage.
Yeah. I thought, easy, lady, back off.
No, not stretching so much. If you
Yeah.
have a cramp, if your muscle cramps up, yeah, stretch it. It'll stop the cramp. So, if you have a calf
Hmm.
cramp, dorsiflex your foot and it'll
Right.
stop a cramp. But I
Yeah.
would not do any kind of stretching on an injury. Not
Well,
right
those,
away. That comes later
I gotcha.
after the acute phase. Long term, yeah, you're going to start reloading the muscle. You're going to start
Yeah.
moving it again. You're going to want to get, but not right away. No.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You mentioned cramps. That's 3M feels like a shark bite,
Yeah,
pulling your
yeah,
foot the opposite way.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
just like that.
yeah. And all you want to do is just go back to sleep, and that calf is,
It's locking up again. It's
yeah, or your
always
toes, right?
it's always the calf
Yeah.
at night. Yeah, but yeah, if you get up in the middle of the night with a calf cramp, pull your toes up and stretch it, get it in a stretch position. It'll stop.
Yeah.
That usually stops it.
This was a couple years ago. I think the name of the movie was Game Changers. It was about being plant-based. Did you see it by any chance?
I saw one, but I don't know if it was that one. But I did see a like a documentary type of thing
Yeah.
going off of
Yeah.
going off of all animal products and just plant based.
Yeah. Now, if somebody does that, how do they get sufficient protein?
You can get protein from plants. You got to do it smart. You've got to really know what you're doing and what to combine to
Mhm.
get all your amino acids in there. Most people aren't doing that. One my doctor calls them high school vegans. Like I'm a vegan, and then they're like eating tater tots and ketchup.
Okay.
It's like you can get your protein, but you just got to be smart about how you do it. And I
Right.
I had a client that went vegan for a little while. Like she tried it, and she did eat really healthy and did a good job and tried to do it the right way and all that, because she had seen a documentary like that. And she was really
Mhm.
good, ate her fruits and vegetables. She used brewer's yeast and things like that to get B12 and stuff. And then she kind of went back on having some protein. And she said, I will say I did not have as much energy when I was just doing vegan. So she did see a difference. And I knew she was doing it right. But
Mhm.
if you eat beans and you eat your grains and the right way, you can get enough protein.
Mhm.
There are just some things that you get out of animal muscle that you can't get in a vegetable.
Right.
So, and I'm thinking, I mean, B12, some of the B vitamins are some of the things that are harder to get if you're not eating chicken or fish. You're not getting creatine, which your body can manufacture creatine. So you don't really have to get it from animal
Mhm.
protein, but I think you probably would have. And she's a tennis player. So I think you might have you might feel like your muscles don't have as much energy to use if you're doing
Yeah.
vegan. I'm not against it.
Now, yeah.
It's better than
So
what a lot
you'd
of people
recommend
are doing.
would you recommend somebody who's plant-based to supplement with some creatine?
I think that would be a good idea. hmm I think a lot of people would benefit from creatine
Really?
supplementation. It's a good thing. Like I mean, it's in your body. Your muscle,
Mhm.
your body manufactures creatine.
Right.
But if you take a little extra, it can help you with that ATP turnover in your muscles can go a little faster, especially if you're an athlete. And no, just if you're sitting at an office desk, you probably don't need it. I mean, you don't
Right.
need it. It's not going to do you any good if you're not working out or exercising. But
Right. Yeah.
it can help. Like, and if you're training in the gym, it can help you have a little more strength. You might start taking it and find out that you're getting a couple more reps out. If you're on a tennis court, you'll find you might be taking off a little faster. Your muscles might be able to go a little longer. Your sprints might be a little better. But it is a commitment. Like if you do
Mhm.
creatine, you got to do it every day. You're going to go through a loading phase. And then once your muscles get saturated with it, you got to stay on it every day. So it's not like
Right.
take
Yeah.
as needed.
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's something you should commit to. But but it's a good supplement for people who are playing a sport, people who are working out.
Mm-hmm.
It does not have standalone benefit. If you're sitting in a chair,
Mm.
it's not
Right.
gonna do anything. It's all about
Okay.
regenerating ATP, more
Yeah.
efficiently and faster
Got it.
in your muscles. So, yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about doing it again. Like, I did creatine a little bit when I was younger. I probably didn't do it right, but I think too when you're younger, you might not see the benefit as much as when you're older, and you do see, a little age, a little decline, a little slow down. You might notice more of a benefit when you're older. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure I'd be surprised if most athletes, like professional athletes, elite athletes, aren't using it. It's a good supplement. And it also helps your muscles hold water, an osmotic compound.
Mm-hmm.
It draws water into your muscles. So also with like keeping your muscles hydrated,
Yeah.
just simple. You
Okay.
if you do it, you'll probably gain a couple of pounds of water weight just because of it does
Yeah.
keep water in your muscles.
Sure.
So yeah.
Okay. That's
Do
interesting.
you ever done creatine?
Never. I
You
remember.
play competitively? Do you?
Yeah. I still try.
You might wanna I mean, it is a commitment, but you might
Yeah.
wanna try it, see if it
Well,
helps
I heard at a seminar years ago, and it was a doctor of sports medicine from a major university, and he was warning us to be aware of high school kids and steroids. And
you.
we're all looking at each other like we're tennis pros, but he was talking about supplementing this, and he did mention creatine. And, you know, I don't know any kids that are talking about steroids in the high competitive tennis world, but I think there's more along that line of recovery steroids. So,
Do
but
people do
I
people
don't know that much
people
about creatine.
do
So
people classify creatine like a steroid?
I think he was along the lines in
Yeah.
his seminar, but I was like, okay,
Your body
yeah,
manufactures creatine, and when you eat animal muscle, chicken, beef, it has a certain amount of creatine in it. So you get it from animal meat,
hmm,
and your body makes it. So
there you go.
it's not a steroid or anything like that. You just get a little
Yeah,
extra. It helps you regenerate your ATP, and no, it's
yeah,
nothing like that. Even for a
yeah,
kid, I wouldn't have any reservations about like,
yeah,
you got a high school athlete wanting to use
right,
that. It's not. I don't see why it would be controversial at all.
yeah. Well, I mean, his speech was more along the lines of the steroid stuff, but he did talk a little bit about creatine. So let me get to this. This is my hyper ice gun. I turn it on every morning and I hit my legs. It's literally beside my bed.
Do you love it?
Yeah, I do.
Does it
I mean,
help
it,
you?
it wakes. I mean, I hit my quads, calves, the whole area and glutes and groin area. It's anywhere you could be sore. And I have a vibrating roller that I finish my day with. But
Yeah.
I think they're called Theraguns and there's different brands. And I do like the
Kevin's got
Hyper
one.
Ice. So there you go. So, okay, when somebody says, what in the world does this do when it goes on and you put it on your muscles? What does it do?
I mean, it's just rapid hitting your muscle, and it's just another way to massage. If you've got a tight muscle and you feel like that helps you, I mean, I've put it on my neck some, Kevin. I don't think you should put it on an injured muscle. Like
Okay.
we were talking about muscle pulls before. I don't think you should be hammering on an injury with it.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you're tight and you want to loosen
Okay.
up, I think it's perfectly fine.
Very cool. Yeah.
No problem with that. But yeah, I do see people like, "Oh, I pulled my calf and it's already bruised up and they're hammering on it with a Theragun." No, don't do that.
Making it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I find in the morning, when I'm stiffest, after you walk to the bathroom and, you brush your teeth and stuff. And it's like, even before I hit the shower, I hit my legs with the gun
Yeah.
and seems
Yeah.
to wake me up a little bit.
As long as yeah, I mean, if it makes you feel good and I'm fine with it. Kevin, I mean, we have one, like I said. He's like, "You think you
Yeah.
could hit my back?" But yeah, it's not no,
Yeah.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to wrap up like we're playing a quick set. I only have 6 questions for you. You're thinking 6 more. What's your all time favorite sport?
I mean, tennis.
That a girl. That works.
It's the only sport I'll watch on TV. I mean, I don't
Okay.
yeah, love it.
Okay. I'm sure Kevin's got every Florida State sport on TV at some point. So,
It's insane. The man cannot not be watching his sport, and anytime during the year, if there's no sport on, you'd be f you would laugh at this stuff. Like, I see him watching, like, pillow fights, some of the weird sports, like, "What are you watching? Like, are you
yeah.
desperate?" Like yeah, he
Yeah.
every sport known to mankind, it's on the TV
Okay.
all the time.
Who's your all time favorite athlete?
Uh, I don't know, maybe Roger.
Okay.
He's just like art in motion.
Yeah.
I love
He made it look so easy.
How can you not love him? You don't see him sweating. See some of the
That's a good point.
he's just
Right.
like I mean, do you ever see him sweating profusely and, like, he's killing somebody, and then it's like, I think that's
Yeah.
the sweat.
Right. Even like those five setters with Nadal at the end of his career.
But
He still looked,
I told Kevin, I was like, "I miss those guys because
yeah.
they were not just because they were great players, because they were so classy.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way they,
Yeah.
carried themselves and handled themselves during losses and, I mean, they were just I love watching them.
Yeah. You know, okay, you would get a fist pump, and that was it. It drives me nuts. Even some of the guys that are at the top of the game are great, seem like great guys, but when they hit a good shot and they have to, like, the whole crowd's cheering. Why do you have to do this? Yeah, right. Just shut up and play,
Yeah,
man.
like Kevin, he can't stand that either. He's like, "Quit with all the celebrating,"
Yeah, I mean, a fist pump, whatever, and
Yeah, just
Rafa
like
would do this, and
yeah,
that's enough. No,
that's enough. Don't do all the
yeah, right. I forgot about the hanging up. That was a good one. Yeah,
but yeah, that's what I miss about Roger
yeah,
and Rafa. They didn't have to do that.
sure.
Their game
Yeah.
spoke for itself.
Do you have an all-time favorite sports team?
The closest would be Georgia Bulldogs. I mean, I'm from Georgia. Never. I mean, I'm always gonna love Georgia Bulldogs. I do care about what they do. I don't watch all their games or whatever, but I do care about what they do.
Okay.
That'd probably be my number one. Growing up, where I grew up in Georgia, and you were either a Georgia fan or an Auburn fan, and I love my Georgia Bulldogs.
Atta girl. Nice. I got a daughter who's got an undergrad and a master's degree from Georgia,
Oh,
so
really? Yeah,
she'll be happy to hear
yeah.
your
I
answer.
love them.
Yeah. What's your favorite cheat meal? Come on, you can tell us.
It's gonna be something with ranch dressing. I mean, chicken fingers and ranch dressing,
Okay.
chicken fingers and french fries with ranch dressing. Yeah,
All right.
something with ranch dressing.
I think my wife is right there with you. There you go.
It's good on anything.
I
Well,
think,
yeah, back in the day, I would
yeah.
some fried ch if you said, "Oh, if you're going to the electric chair, you had to have a last meal," it probably would be that, chicken fingers and french fries with ranch dressing. Real good chicken fingers.
There you go. Maybe a glass of wine next to it, right?
I don't
Yeah, why not?
wine's never been my thing. That's not,
Okay.
I wouldn't I don't drink and I don't care either. I don't miss it either.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm thinking if you're at the electric chair, who cares? Who cares what you feel like
if
tomorrow? So,
I'm at the electric chair, I don't know.
yeah.
Never had to think about it too much.
Yeah. All right. Do you have an all-time favorite book?
The Bible,
There you go. Can't,
that one I didn't have to think about.
hey, can't go wrong.
Mm-mm.
So good for you. All right. And you can mention his name, your all-time favorite tennis pro.
Kevin Tucker,
That's it,
the best.
KT,
He's the
an
best.
award winner. He just won the award for what? Florida Division Pro of the Year?
Region 1,
Okay.
Professional of the Year. Yeah.
So
He finally made it at the age of 64.
Kevin's a good boy. I like him. So, all right. I took down some notes and I always enjoy going back and editing because I hear more and more good things when I hear it a second time. I think everybody needs to take away just to be consistent on what they do as far as their health journey.
The best stuff is the simplest stuff, the most boring stuff. Even in the gym, it's like You look at all the stuff on TikTok and Instagram, all the workouts and stuff done. Push, pull, overhead press, squat, lunge. You're good. Repeat.
Right.
It's the
Okay.
same. It's the same thing all throughout your whole life. It doesn't change
Yeah.
from 30
And
to 80.
we should all check out a supplement with some omega-3s too.
Omega 3s. And, if you play a sport and you work out, and especially if you're a little older, look into some creatine. I mean, I might try it again now that we've talked about it.
There you go.
I'll let you know how it works out.
Okay.
You should try
Yeah.
it too.
Cool. Okay. I'll talk to you off air and find out the protocols. So.
Okay. All right.
All right. Lisa Tucker, I appreciate your time. And for
It's
you
good
out
talking
there,
to you.
if you like this episode, please forward it to some friends and push that subscription button. So till next time, make the most of your time, be bold, and hang tough.